May pirma yan doon sa tao na ano mo yung secretary, whom you trust. But the problem is, kung abogado siya, hindi, basahin mo talaga. Kasi takot ka magkamali eh. Makatapos niya mga alas 6, alas 6 ng umaga, matulog kami saan hanggang alas 12. Tapos alas 2, ligo ang punta. Ganon ang buhay mo. Para kang clerk, sa totoo lang. Kung wala ka naman mong ambisyon other than really just being there sitting as a president, sitting meaning doon sa silya, walang kakwenta-kwenta buhay. Pati yung ulang baski na gaano ka husay ng cook, pagdating mo sa wala kang gana palagi. Kaya natuloy ako pumayat. Buti naka-recover ako dahan-dahan ng wala talaga, sabi ko. Ako sabihin ko sa kanya, if it's only kung ano lang na wala kang makuha, saka maliit yung sweldo, makukuha mo sa labas, mag-practice ka. Pero kung sabihin mo na, is there something in the presidency that would make you happy? Wala ho. I will not give it to anybody else. Kayo yung iba nang nagkikinig, talagang atat na atat kayo, go ahead. Pero para sa anak ko, yun ang masabi ko. Kung ano may swerte niya, I will support her. Whatever that may be in the future.
Bundok Arayat sa Pampanga, isa sa mga inspirasyon ng mga nagdisenyo sa bagong passenger terminal building ng Clark International Airport. Maaliwalas at maliwanag ang bagong paliparan.
The inspiration was to really mirror and reflect the mountain ranges of Zambales, at the same time the Arayat. So if you notice the undulated forms of the roof, no, which makes it an authentic modern Filipino architecture, no, that we can all be proud of.
The whole design is actually very natural, very Filipino. It's always very important that you design with the proportions of height and maaliwalas.
Kagabi mismong si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ang nanguna sa inspeksyon ng bagong gusali.
It will surely help decongest traffic at the busy Nino International Airport and provide a better flying experience for local and tourists alike. I commend the Department of Transportation, the Bases Conversion and Development Authority, and all our partners from the private sector for this massive achievement.
Layong gawin ang bagong paliparan bilang alternatibo ng Ninoy Aquino International Airport. Isa sa mga makabagong features ng bagong terminal building ay ang contactless self-check-in and self-bag drop. Dito sa contactless self-service kiosk, hindi na kailangang hawakan ang machine. Iscan lamang ang QR code at lalabas na rin sa iyong telepono ang mismong lumalabas sa screen. Sa cellphone din ipapasok ang mga kailangang detalye bago makuha ang boarding pass at baggage tag. Ang pasahero rin ang magdadala ng kanyang bagahe sa bag drop counter. Ipatutupad din sa paliparan ang silent airport policy.
Meron tayong silent airport policy. Ano ibig sabihin yon? Testing, 1, 2, 3, announcing the arrival. Wala nang ganyan. Titingin ka na lang sa mga signage.
Taong 2018 pa sinimula ng pagtatayo ng gusali at nitong taon na kumpleto sa kabila ng mga hamon ng pandemya. Sabi ng Department of Transportation, target na mabuksan ito para sa mga international at domestic flight bago matapos ang taon. Mas mapapabilis pa ang pagbiyahe ng mga magmumula ng Metro Manila pa Clark oras na matapos na ang North-South Commuter Railway System.
Meron kang ruta na Makati papunta rito, di ba? Biro mo naman, bakit hindi nyo naman nasahin na matapos namin yan? Babiyahe ka, 55 minutes na lang, kumpira sa mahigit 2 oras. Ngayon, matatapos ba talaga yan? 2 anggulo. Number 1, may contractor na. Pangalawa funded. Ibig sabihin, may pondo yung proyekto na yan.
Inaasahan kapag fully operational na, magbibigay ang terminal building ng mas maraming trabaho at magpapalago ng turismo sa North at Central Luzon.
To show the world that we are actually ready. Pagka wala ng travel restrictions, ready na tayo to open up. Lahat dito ay contactless. Yun naman ang hinahanap ng mga travelers, less contact. So ang maganda, when this was built, yun na, lahat ng COVID-proof na siya talaga.
Nasa 19 billion pesos ang ginastos para sa proyekto kasama ng iba pang infrastruktura gaya ng mga taxiway. Kayang mag-accommodate ng paliparan ng hanggang 8 milyong pasahero kada taon.
Banking ng World Bank's Ease of Doing Business o kung gaano kadali ang pagnenegosyo sa iba't ibang bansa, medyo kulelat ang score ng Pilipinas. Sa 189 economies kasi, pumwesto lang ang bansa sa 103. Kumpara sa first placer na Singapore, 7th placer na United States at Thailand na nasa 49th place. Hinaing ng mga negosyante, grabe naman daw kasi ang red tape sa ibang tanggapan ng gobyerno.
Doon, dito, yung kung saan ka ituro ng turong hindi mo naman walang siguradong direksyon kung saan ka pupunta. Sana makitungan naman sila ng mabuti.
Kaya sinabi na ni Presumptive President Rodrigo Duterte na mahigpit na ipatutupad ng kanyang administrasyon ang 72-hour o 3 araw na pagproseso ng mga clearance at business permits sa lahat ng government offices.
I do not want to see people queuing. Naglilinya. After 72 hours, you are no longer allowed to release the documents or papers. You have to forward the papers to me. And I will ask you why it took you more than 3 days to process the paper.
Pinirmahan ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa Malacanang kagabi ang Ease of Doing Business and Efficient Government Service Delivery Act of 2018. Ayon sa punong ehekutibo, ito na ang nakikitang solusyon para resolbahin ang red tape sa mga ahensya ng gobyerno.
This addresses the failure of the Anti-Red Tape Act of 2017 to solve the perennial problem of bureaucratic red tape in our government institutions.
Dahil dito, inaasahang magiging madali na para sa mga businessmen ang pagkuha ng lisensya, clearances at permit. Sa ilalim din ng batas, may mga itinakdang period ng processing time para sa mga kinakailangang dokumento. Kinakailangang iproseso ng mga ahensya ng pamahalaan ang mga simpleng transaksyon sa loob ng 3 araw, 7 araw para sa mga komplikado at 20 araw para sa mga technical transaction. Inaatasan din ng batas na ito ang mga lokal na pamahalaang gawing automated ang pagbibigay ng business permit at licensing system.
Local government are also mandated by this law to automate the business permit and licensing system and set up one-stop facilities, services, and to use online unified business application forms.
Ranking ng Pilipinas sa Ease of Doing Business Report ng World Bank tumaas.
Wala nang problema si Cory sa pag-aasikaso ng business permits para sa kanyang eatery. Mas mabilis na anya kasi ang pagpoproseso nito kaysa noon.
Basta okay yung papakita mong papeles, mabilis lang din.
Ang karanasang yan ni Cory ay isang patunay lamang ng pag-angat ng Pilipinas sa ika-75 pwesto sa pinakahuling Ease of Doing Business ranking ng World Bank mula sa dating ika-124. Pinakamalaki ang in-improve ng Pilipinas sa pagkuha ng credit, pagprotekta sa minority investors at pagproseso ng construction permits.
You've been hearing about many efforts to put it online and electronically. That's the way to go. Lahat gusto natin surpass.
The President would always say he does not want people to make it difficult to deal with government. We will now treat people who are dealing with government not just as ordinary taxpayers but really very important people.
Patuloy ang Pilipinas sa pagpapatupad ng mas marami pang reforma para makamit ang target rank nito.
Focus is more on the local, domestic, small and medium enterprises. So this is really helping them to overcome the barriers, the constraints.
Ikinatuwa naman ng Malacanang ang pagtaas ng ranking ng Pilipinas. Asaan yan ng mas maganda pang resulta sa mga susunod na taon dahil patuloy ang pagsisikap ng Administrasyong Duterte na makapagbigay ng mas maginhawa at komportabling pamumuhay para sa mga Pilipino.
620 million pesos na halaga ng business deals ang napirmahan sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at Russia sa pagbisita ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa Moscow at Sochi noong nakalipas na linggo. Bukod dito, 2 Filipino fishing companies din ang makapag-e-export na ng tuna sa bansang Russia. Si Pangulong Duterte rin ang kauna-unahang Philippine President na ginawaran ng honorary doctorate degree ng nangungunang institution for diplomats sa Russia. Ilan lamang ito sa naging bunga ng 5 araw na official visit ni Pangulong Duterte sa Russia bukod pa sa bilateral cooperation agreements na pinirmahan sa pagitan ng 2 bansa. Ayon sa punong ehekutibo, mahalaga ang naging pagbisita ng Pangulo sa Russia sa isinusulong nitong foreign policy.
This visit generated greater momentum for the Philippine-Russia relations. There is a key element of a trust to rebalance Philippine foreign policy towards independence, balance, and diplomatic agility. The gains we have made in this visit brings us a step closer to our objective of a stable, comfortable, and a secure life for all Filipinos. That is my vision for the body and duty to the nation, and I will do everything to achieve that, towards that end.
Due to the large volume of attendees in last Friday's Philcom gathering with President Rodrigo Duterte, the embassy sought the assistance of over 300 volunteers to assist during the event.
The Friday's event was hailed as the largest Filipino community event in Singapore. Despite the heavy rain, some 7,000 members of the community gathered at Singapore Expo to personally see the president.
Volunteers from various Filipino organizations gathered to assist the Philippine Embassy in managing the crowd. Volunteers were assigned as marshals, logistics and food and distribution, registration, and photographers. They are happy and proud to take part in what they consider as once-in-a-lifetime event and also being able to meet the President.
Sinikap ko pong maging bahagi sa gawain ito dahil gusto ko pong may pahayag sa sambayan ng Pilipino, lalo na dito sa mga kababayan natin sa Singapore, na ito na ang tamang panahon para masugpo na ang droga at korupsyon sa bansang Pilipinas. Kasi medyo kababayan, siya po ay isang Bisaya, kaya Bisaya rin ako, masarap po sa pakiramdam at nakita ko si Mayor Digong.
The Philippine Embassy is thankful for the success of the event, which showed the unity of the Filipinos at all times.
Paglagda ng mga kasunduan sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at ng Singapore sa ginanap na ASEAN Leaders Meeting sa Singapore. Tinatayang aabot sa $185.7 million na investment sa Pilipinas ang ipinangako ng Singapore. Tiniyak ng Pangulo sa Singapore na sisikaping mapigilan ang korupsyon sa ilalim ng kanyang panunungkulan. Dagdag ng Pangulo, hihilingin niya sa Department of Trade and Industry ang patuloy na paggawa ng mga hakbang upang maging mas madali at mas mabilis ang pagtatayo ng negosyo sa Pilipinas.
And I welcome you. I will give you, I assure you, the protection that you need. No corruption is no corruption. I stake my presidency on this. I will lose the presidency on this. I will lose the honor and the prestige in pursuing that policy of no corruption.
Isa sa mga layunin ng administrasyong kasalukuyan ay mas mapalago pa ang negosyo sa Pilipinas. Nang sa gayon ay mas dumami pa ang oportunidad at trabaho para sa mga Pilipino.
6 na Memorandum of Understanding at 4 na Letter of Intent ang isinumite ng iba't ibang Singaporean companies mula sa iba't ibang sektor. Isa sa kasunduang nalagdaan ay sa pagitan ng Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry at ng Singapore Manufacturing Federation. Layunin nito na pagtibayin at palakasin ang ugnayan sa pagnenegosyo ng dalawang bansa. Gayon din ang pagpapalitan ng impormasyon at kaalaman para sa mas mabilis na pag-unlad ng negosyo. Samantala, isa sa nilagdaang Letter of Intent o LOI ay sa pagitan ng DTI at ASEAN Business Advisory Council. Layunin nito na ang pagtutulungan ng dalawang organisasyon upang mapag-aralan ng SG Connect Legacy Project.
Robbie, President Rodrigo Duterte has a full schedule today here in Busan, South Korea. After meeting with the top companies of South Korea, he had bilateral talks with South Korean President Moon Jae-in. The two leaders both witnessed the signing of agreements and joint statement between the two countries. 4 agreements and a joint statement have been signed between the Philippines and South Korea. These include the Agreement on Social Security, Memorandum of Understanding on the Implementation Program of Tourism, Education, and Fisheries, and a joint statement on a proposed free trade agreement. Trade Chief Mon Lopez says Duterte personally invited President Moon Jae-in for a state visit in the Philippines next year. On the agenda, finalize the FTA.
That would be a good timing for the signing of the FTA. As you know, meron pa kaming tinapos kasi.
For Communications Secretary Martin Andanat, there is a clear trade imbalance between the two countries. As of last year, the trade value of the Philippines and South Korea reached $13.7 billion, but our exports to Korea is only at $2.5 billion, way lower compared to imports totaling $11.2 billion. When the FTA is finalized, tariffs on some Filipino products will be cut, which will give way to wider export opportunities.
In 2018, the Republic of Korea was our 4th largest trading partner. It was also a valued source of foreign indirect investments, ranking 13th in the same year.
During the bilateral talks, Duterte took the chance to thank South Korea for their assistance during calamities.
I thank your government for donating $100,000 for the earthquake victims in Mindanao last month. Clearly, at no other time in our shared history have the bonds been of our peoples this strong.
Meanwhile, President Moon recognized the fast economic growth of our country.
필리핀과 한국의 협력으로 아시안의 발전에 함께 기여하게 되길 기대합니다.
The Philippines is the future of ASEAN as it continues to achieve an impressive growth rate of 6% each year, thanks to your outstanding leadership.
Duterte also met with the heads of the top 12 companies in South Korea who gave their commitment to invest in the Philippines.
During the President's week-long country visit, he witnessed the signing of over $925 million worth of investment deals among Saudi, Bahraini, and Qatari businessmen, which are expected to create approximately 62,000 jobs. The President also saw the signing of agreements on investment, labor, cooperation, strengthening of diplomatic ties, air services, avoidance of double taxation, and cooperation on culture, health, and technical and vocational education and training. The President also attended the Philippines-Qatar Business Forum and witnessed the signing of $206 million worth of business deals between Qatari businessmen and the PEZA, which is expected to create almost 5,770 jobs in the Philippines.
Yung total ng tatlong bansa, $925 million, inad din namin yung mga jobs to be created. No? So 16,000, 20,000 plus 6,000 dito sa Qatar, mga 26,000 new jobs to be created. Yung sa Bahrain, as reported to you the other day, yung 3,500 new jobs can go up to 40,000 in the 3 to 5 years pag fully operational na yung investment na papasok.
Meron bang sinay na business-to-business deals na 10 yesterday, sir?
Na 13. 13. Business-to-business deals yon. Na in the areas of ito yung 206 million na kinikwento, no? So mga retirement villages, tourism ecozone, IT and ecozone management, hospitals, medical tourism, may poultry and halal food processing, manufacture and export facility of nanostructured carbon at mga agro-industrial ecozones.
I hope you'll remember this. I am here because I love my country and I love the Filipino people. Sinabi ko sa inyo noon, huwag na magka-diferensya tayo. Kunting bagay, okay lang sa akin. Either I apologize or kayo. Pero sabi ko, wag lang ang bayan. Kasi pag bayan na, wala na tayong pinag-usapan. It's a country. Now, if I do not make it to the finish line at the end of my term, malawak pa yan eh. It's yung swerte ng tao. It's ordained by destiny. And if my destiny says that hanggang dyan lang ako. Ba't hingiin ko lang sa inyo ito? Trilyon yan. Kaya ang hingiin ko sa military pati police, you are one of the pressure group ni democracy. The other one of the Congress. Pero huwag kayong pumayag na hindi ma-recover ng bayan ang ninakaw nila.